Here is 12 different prompting technique that's going to change the way you are using ChatGPT or any AI. This is starting from just asking a question to making your AI think before responding. This is really mind-blowing. Don't miss the last one because that is really mind-blowing way of using the prompt. Yes, I'm going to ask AI to create the prompt, but this is not a straightforward thing. You need to know how to ask AI to generate the prompt and what this prompting is called. You will going to get in the last style of prompting. So stay tuned till the end of this video because we are going to uncover this prompt engineering guide from Lee Bonstra. And this person is from the Google, so you can see how amazing his content will be. This guide is free of cost. You can download it, link from the description. And now let us start this video. So welcome to Bitfumes. I'm your host Sarthak and this video is about the 12 different types of prompting technique that's going to change the way you are using the ChatGPT, and this guide is our reference. So you can just scroll down and find the table of content, and here is the prompting techniques. We are going to start from zero shot, one shot, few shot, contextual, role, system prompting, and then we will go to the step back prompting, the chain of thought, self-consistency, tree of thoughts. Oh my god, react, reason and act, and automatic prompt engineering. Boom, that's our challenge today. So we are going to start with the first one, which is general prompting. But before that, what exactly is this prompt engineering? So see, LLMs are not a magical thing. They are just going to predict the next word starting from the initial level. So that means it needs some guidance, it needs the reference, it needs the information to predict the next word in the sequence of the sentence. But what exactly this prompt engineering is? So see this, when you write a prompt, you are attempting to set up the LLM predict the right sequence of the token. Prompt engineering is the process of designing high quality prompt that guide LLM to produce accurate output. Basically, the better your guide, like the prompt is, the better will be the output. So basically, you are engineering the text you are sending to the LLM. The prompt should be optimized for the length, evaluating a prompt writing style, structure in the relation to the task. All of these things matters in your prompt, and that's why it is called prompt engineering. Enough about the theory, now let's go and see about what exactly the different techniques of prompting is. And we are going to start with the general one, which is the first one. So let's scroll to that level, and the first one is the general prompting. The general prompting, as you mean 99% people are doing, which is just asking the ChatGPT like, hey, tell me a joke. This is just the general prompting. But why it is called the zero shot? See, zero shot basically simple type of prompt where you are not at all providing any kind of example. So if I tell the ChatGPT that, hey, tell me a joke, we are not providing what kind of joke, we are not providing in which language, we are not providing anything. We just ask, tell me a joke. So LLM on its own going to give you the best possible answer it can give out of the blue. No matter, nothing referenced, it just give you the answer. So let's see the example of general prompting or zero shot prompting. And here I am on the Google AI Studio. I'm going to have this, and this is a review, and I want the statement, sentiment, not the statement for this. Now, this is a thinking model from the Google Gemini 2.5 Pro, and this is giving that this is a positive one. Nothing serious, it's just giving the review, getting the answer. That's so simple. That's called the general prompting. Now let's move from general prompting to the few shot or one shot prompting. So let's first talk about the one shot or single shot prompting. Now, what is the shot means here? So when I say zero shot, I'm saying like there is no example, there is no reference. Then if I say one shot, that means I'm going to provide only one shot, that means the example or one reference for the AI. So this says like one shot provide the single example, hence the name one shot. The idea is the model has an example it can imitate to best complete the task. Now this is really powerful. Why? See, once again, we are having this sentiment analysis. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask, and this time I'm providing that it's a negative one. Scary. Although we know that this is a positive, but I'm providing that this is a negative sentiment. And now if I say what will be the sentiment of this, which is considering negative, let's see what's going to happen. So if I do this, okay, something great happened. It's now having two different kind of answers for us. One is positive and one is negative. Now see, negative is the general one, which is the room was small, noisy and dirty. This is a negative sentiment, but because we have provided one short, that means example, we are getting this as a positive. So see, this we change the way AI going to respond. Generally, this should be a negative sentiment, but since we have provided the sentiment negative for a positive review, it understands that if review is positive, we are calling it negative. So if there is a negative review, we have to call it positive. That's the power of our one-shot prompting. And once again, if I skip that to two different kind of things, it's doing something and it's going to provide that, yeah, the sentiment is finally positive because we have provided one shot. And next, now move to the next prompting technique, which is the few shot prompting. Now, few shot prompting is just like the one shot prompting, but instead of providing one example, we are providing multiple examples. So this says that this approach shows the model a pattern that need to follow. So model will be eager to understand that, hey, this is the pattern, okay, I need to follow this pattern and give the result. Now, a thumb rule, as a general thumb rule, you should use at least 3 to 5 examples of few shot prompting. However, you may need to use more examples for complex tasks. Now, let's see how this is going to work in our case when I have something different. So I would like to have few short prompting. So I'm providing the English and then French, English, then French and English and finally the French. Now this case, it's providing the French equivalent very easily. Now see what's going to happen if I confuse the model with few short prompting having different thing. So how are you? Kya hal hai? Now this is actually Hindi, not French, and this is going to confuse the LLM model or AI that if I'm calling it as a French, actually it's English or Hindi, whatever it is, confusion. So let's see. Time kya hua hai? Now I'm asking as what will be the equivalent of I would like some coffee in French, but French examples are in Hindi. So here is the confusion created for the LLM and it actually giving the incorrect result. Here there is no direct translation of the pattern I have provided, so that's the smart enough model we have. But if I choose this model from 2.5, so maybe I can switch it and use 2.5 model, the pro model, which is having the thinking ability. Let's see what's going to be the result. Okay, so you see what's happening is this few shot prompting is now working and we have made it working because the model is smart enough to understand the pattern. I was using the 1.5 model which was not that smart, so it has given the French response, but this time it is actually giving me the Hindi response because it knows the pattern instead of the French. Cool. I'm really enjoying this prompting techniques. I hope you are doing so amazing that you are eager to learn the next prompting technique. But before that, if you are enjoying this video till now, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to share this with your friends so that everyone know about how powerful the prompting technique is. Next one is the system prompting. Now, system prompting is setting the overall context and the purpose of the language model. It defined the big picture of what the model should be doing, like translating a language, classifying a review. A lot of things it has. Now, more about the system prompting is system prompting where it specify additional information on how to return the output. That can be the thing. System prompt can useful for generating output that meet the specific need. Maybe you want a JSON output, maybe you just want in a different language always. So this is really powerful thing. Let's see this in action, and this is going to blow your mind. So make sure you're having your mind and your breath in control, because this is really powerful. So let's see. General question: what is the capital of India? Now at this point this should be a straightforward answer, but still model is thinking. Okay, so we get that the capital is New Delhi, but let's now change the system prompt of this model and see how will be the response will be changed. So here we have the system instruction, which is system prompting. So I'm going to say please respond in single word only. Okay, so we have provided that. Now I'm going to ask the question again by editing and just hitting the run button. So this time you see just one single word, which is Delhi. Now what is the capital of USA? And if I do this, it's going to once again give me only one single word answer. Remember, previously it was having a paragraph display like saying the capital of India is the New Delhi. Yeah, I didn't remember. Okay, so now next thing is what you want in a different style. So let's say you want yes in single word, but the response must be in binary. Okay, so this is going to be amazing. So binary language, I say. And now once again I run this, and this is going to be the crazy thing. So it's now going to give me the answer in binary. Yes, it's going to be the New Delhi, but binary. To prove that this is really the New Delhi, let's search for binary to text, and here we are. We go, we put the binary, we say I want the ASCII and convert, we get the New Delhi. Wow, that's good. Now do the same for the USA thing, and we run it. We should get the binary, and this binary we will convert it. We should get the Washington. Yeah, it's really big. So let's try that and paste it, and Washington DC. Cool, that's the system prompting. Now this is very simple and very funny example, but you can provide like always respond in Hindi. Okay, and even if user ask in any language, you must stick with Hindi. Okay, now if I say this, then what's going to happen is it's always going to return the Hindi response instead of any other language. So I'll say, what is the capital of India? Provide in French. Maybe I can change the prompt. What is the best dish of India? Now I will say like provide in French, so it should give me the answer in French, but since we have the system prompt which says give me the answer in Hindi always, so even after asking like that, it's returning the answer in Hindi. So let's try the same in a new chat where we don't have any system prompt and see what's going to happen. Provide in French. So this should return the same response but in French language. You can see the response is now in French because we have not provided any system instruction to have the respond technique. Cool, that's called the system prompting. Okay, now let's move to the next amazing prompting technique, which is called role prompting. And in this role prompting, we are providing a role for the AI. We are setting a role, and with that role, since now AI has the vast knowledge of everything, if I provide it as a focused role, then its ability to provide the best possible answer increases. So see what role prompting is. So role prompting is a technique in prompt engineering that involves assigning a specific role to the Gen AI. This can help the model to generate more relevant and informative output. That's the power. For example, you could provide role to prompt a Gen AI to be look like book editor, kindergarten teacher, or motivational speaker. That can be the role. It could be anything, but it's up to you. Now, defining a role perspective for an AI model give the blueprint of tone, style, and focused expertise you're looking to improve the quality. Amazing. Let's try this in action. So I'm going to start the new chat, and first I say you are a motivational speaker and help help people to stay motivated and inspired. Cool. This is the role. So maybe you can ask like, hey, this is the role. Now, what's your question? So I'll say, please explain me the process of, see, this is going to be interesting, process of photosynthesis. Okay, this is going to be interesting because now we have provided role as the motivational speaker. Now we are asking to provide the process of photosynthesis. This is going to be the mind-blowing thing because two different aspects is going to be merged, and since it's having a role of motivational speaker, the explanation should be in the motivational way. Okay, so let's break it down. Spirit of intention, the sun, gathering the resource, water and carbon dioxide, the inner powerhouse, the transformation, building the success. See, all of these words it used is for the motivation. Every line is kind of a motivation. So see, now it has a lesson about every step. So we have the lesson from every step because we said that your role is a motivational speaker. You should not dig from that. But if I just ask you, give me explain the process of photosynthesis, but this time I provide the role as you are a, so what was that, kindergarten? Let me just copy and paste. Yeah, a kindergarten teacher. So kindergarten teacher. Now, at this point, the response we are getting is going to be the very, very simple explanation because you are a kindergarten teacher. Cool. These two responses are totally different. Previously, since it was a motivational speaker, we get the motivated words and the lesson from every step, but this time it's really explaining in a very simple way so that a 5-year can also understand. Plant loves sunshine. The sunshine is the power, superpower. It gives them energy. Plant get thirsty like us. So all of these things are explaining like a kindergarten teacher. So that is really important. So always try to use the role so that the AI model will have a focused and providing you the to the point and accurate answer. Okay, next one is the contextual prompting. Contextual prompting is another big thing which nobody uses. I have also not used it many times, but it is really powerful. So contextual prompting basically is going to tell to the AI that what exactly we are going to do in this prompting. So by providing the contextual prompt, you can help ensure your AI interactions as seamless as and efficient as possible. The model will be able to quickly understand your request and be able to generate the more accurate and relevant responses. Now, for example, here they are giving that you are writing a blog about Retro's 80s acre video game. Now, so we are actually giving the context what actually we need to do. Okay, let's get back here. So remember the process of photosynthesis. Explain me the process of photosynthesis. Now I can provide the context as we are writing a essay in my final practical exam. Okay, so this is now the final practical exam essay. So we have provided a context what actually we are doing in this prompting. And now as we get the answer, we can see it involved the reaction. We have everything as technically more technical since this is going to be submitted for the exam, and it involves everything which we have in our textbooks. It's not a general question, it's not a motivational one, but it's a one which is helpful for your final practical exam. This context is powerful because it tells the AI that what actually you are going to do with the prompting. Whew, we are doing really amazing. So at this point, things are getting really interesting and little complicated. So step back prompting. This is the next one, which is amazing, really amazing, and you should use the step back prompting all the time. It's a one step extended for the contextual prompting, but it's called the step back. Now, why it is called step back prompting and what it is, I'm just going to give you directly the example to understand what's happening. So generally, let's say if we have to write a story for a storyline for a new level of first person shooter video game, we need to write a story about that. So what's going to happen? The AI will going to write a story. That's a so simple thing. But to make this result more powerful, more strong, what we are going to do, we first need to ask AI about 5 fictional key settings that contribute to challenging and engaging level storyline in the first person shooter video. So basically, for first time, we are not at all asking about, hey, I want to write a story about something. We are asking about the key setting to contribute to a challenging and engaging level storyline. We are just asking about some information for the story I want to write about. Now, once we get the result, then we use this result as the context and then we will ask to write the story. So while this is writing this 5 settings, I will go and copy this thing and I'll say this, and at the top I will provide the context. And since we are providing the context, I'm saying that this is one step ahead of the contextual prompting. So I'm going to copy the text, paste it here, everything is pasted here, and at the last we said that take one of the theme and write one paragraph storyline to the new level of first person shooting video game that is challenging and engaging. So now it has more context. And why it is called a step back? Because we are going step back to the previous prompt result and using that as a context in the next prompt where we are actually wanting the real thing to do. You see, that's a great answer which is having all the information which it has already generated. So that's called the step back prompting. It's a really powerful technique you should always use. And basically, first of all, you ask AI to gather more information about the thing you are going to ask about. Once it has the information, then use that information as a context and then ask the real question you are asking. You might have seen that ChatGPT or any LLM model or AI model you are using is now have the ability to think. And this thinking ability is really powerful because when the AI is thinking, it involves various steps to actually see what it actually need to do. So before that, what happened before the thought process or thinking ability was not there, then it was just straightforward answer, but that straightforward answer could be wrong. So chain of thought is a prompting technique for improving the reasoning capability of the LM model by generating the intermediate reasoning steps. This is very important, the intermediate reasoning step. This helps the LM model to more accurate answer. You can combine with the few shot prompting to get better result on the more complex tasks that required the reasoning before responding to the challenging with the zero shot training. A lot of crazy words are here, but let me show you the example to explain you what happening. The same example they are using. I'm here, but this time since the newer model, the Gemini 2.5 kind of models are really smart, they cannot do the wrong thing even without saying, because they by default are thinking models. So I will go to the Gamma 3 1 billion parameter. And now I'm going to ask a simple question. When I was 3-year-old, my partner was 3 times my age. Now I am 20-year-old. How old is my partner? Now let's see the answer. So answer is lying here as Okay, 31-year-old. I don't know if answer is right or wrong. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start another chat where I'm going to use the newer model, which is 2.5 Pro, and this time it should give the exact answer we should be having. And see, this is by default doing the thinking process or chain of thought, and finally the answer is 26. So clearly we can see the 31 answer is incorrect. But the same model can give you the right answer if you say that you need to think and you need to do the step-by-step process. So do a step-by-step calculation and make sure every calculation is correct, and then think and reason before providing the answer. Now let's see what's going to happen if I say all of these amazing things to the model. Now it should give me the correct answer, and yes, we are getting the correct answer here. So that's the power. So you know what? Next one is the real frustrating thing. I don't like this self-consistency prompting technique, because this is just like saying things again and again so that you get different answer and choose from the best one. What the heck is this? So basically, while large language models have shown impressive success in the various NLP tasks, their ability to reason is often seen limited and cannot be overcome solely by increasing the model size. That's the limitation. Even the chain of thought prompting, the model can be prompted to generate a reasoning step like human to human. However, chain of thought uses a simple greedy decoding strategy, limiting the effectiveness. All of these things are great, but if model doesn't have the capability to give you the correct answer, how we can get the answer? It's simply saying ask multiple times. What this is, I don't know why this is inside the prompt technique, but let's see the result. So see, here we have a prompt which I'm going to copy because this is the best example I can find. So I will go here on the chat, I'll get the new one, and I will ask by having again a lower model so that it can be shown very easily how it is working. So I'm saying this once and it says it's having important. So basically we are providing the email and saying that is it important or not. So first time it says yes, it is important, there is a tone, there is a potential impact, overall assessment. Now what I will do, I will run it same prompt again. And why I'm doing this? Because that's what that self-consistency mean. So in this prompting technique, we are providing the same prompt again and again, and see the output attempt 1, then output attempt 2, or maybe output attempt 3. It depends upon how you want to ask how many times. Again, it says it's important, and maybe third time it will also going to give the same result as it is important. But see, the content generated or the reasoning is different in every case. So in my opinion, self-consistency prompting technique is the worst one. I don't like it. I don't understand it properly. But if it is there in the prompting technique, there has to be some pros, and I don't know about that. But let's move to the next one, which is called the tree of thoughts. That's mind-blowing. But when I say mind-blowing, is it really mind-blowing? I don't know, but let's see. So tree of thought, after the chain of thought thing, it says, now since we are familiar with the chain of thought and self-consistency prompting, let's review the tree of thought. It generalizes the concept of chain of thought prompting because it's allowing LLM to explore multiple different reasoning paths. So see, what happened with the chain of thought? We have an input, we have an output, but in between we have a step, different step. One step completed, then we will go to the next step. So there is a chain of different step, or maybe we can call it chain of different thought. But tree of thought says we have an input, we have a 3 different way of solving the problem. Now each step is again having 3 different or 4 different or maybe like multiple different ways of solving a problem, and in this way we reach to the output which is really going to improve your answer. So this technique is really mind-blowing because this approach makes tree of thought particularly well suited for most complex tasks that require exploration. So if you want to explore different things, then tree of thought is good. It worked on maintaining a tree of thought where each thought represents a coherent language sequence, serve as an intermediate step towards solving the problem. So if you want to learn more about the tree of thought, go and learn from this paper, Large Language Guide of Tree of Thought. But to give you the example, so there is not an exact example, but I can show you. See, I have this prompt and everything is having the answer, the response, but I can go on any response or any prompt, click on the option and I say branch from here. When I say branch from here, another branch started and that's called the tree. So now we are making a tree. Although we are making this manual, but if these kind of things happen automatically by LLM or AI, then it will be a tree of thought. Little complex, but then we came up to the real amazing one, which is called react. The reasoning, or maybe just say reason and act. This prompting technique is really famous and most used for having a better answer. But why and how? Let's read this. So react, which is called reasoning and acting, or reason and act prompting, is a paradigm enabling LLM to solve complex problems using the external tool. This is really important. If you have learned about the agentic MCP server, at the end everything lie down to react prompting thing where the model can use the external tool. So react mimics how we as a human operate in the real world. We just think, create a plan and then use the external tools we have to perform certain action. So react prompting works by combining reasoning and acting into thought action loop. The LLM first reason about the problem and generate an action of plan, then it perform the action of the plan and observe the result using some external tool if required. So see, if I just ask Claude that, hey, what is the actual temperature in Indore city right now? Now, if I enter, this LLM model is going to use an external tool to search the web. See, it's searching on the web. So searching on the web is an external tool which is implemented inside this Claude, or right now in every AI they are using the tools. And since the LLM model is just having a stored knowledge, they doesn't know what's happening right now. So that's why for the current thing or for any other thing which is out of their knowledge base, they need to use the tools. And that's why they first need to create a plan, whether they need a tool or not. So that's why the plan should be there, which is coming in the reasoning part. And once we have the plan, and in the plan, if it need the tool, then it's going to act on it, and that's why it's called react, which is every LLM model right now is doing, and AI development is all around this react prompting. That means reason and act using the different external tool. Okay, so we are now at really mind-blowing, the last prompting technique. Automatic prompt engineering. What's that? So let's just admit, we humans are lazy and we want to automate everything in our life. And AI is doing all that automation. We just need to write the prompt and explain AI to do something. And for that, we have a long list of how to write a prompt. But we are too lazy. We even don't want to write the prompt. So what's happening if we ask AI to write a prompt for us that we can use to ask AI the real question? And that's called automatic prompt engineering. At this point, you might realize that writing prompt can be complex. Wouldn't it be nice to automate this? Write a prompt to write a prompt. Well, that's a method. Automatic prompt engineering. This method not only elevates the need for human input, but also enhance the model's performing in various tasks. This is very simple. Ask AI to generate the prompt for you so that you can use that prompt in a different way. Okay, I'm going to ask this. Open a new chat and I say, give me a prompt that can generate a LinkedIn post from the given topic. It should be human-like and simple to understand. I have given very nice prompt explaining what it is doing. Maybe I can also add a role. You are a best LinkedIn content writer in the world who has written viral LinkedIn posts. Even after applying all the prompting technique, I need to think about prompting technique. I need to write it. I need to do a lot of steps. But what if I just copy this, go to the Claude, or maybe just you can ask the same Gemini, and paste it, hit it, and this Claude will going to generate the prompt for you, which we are going to use in the Gemini, or maybe just like in any LLM model, and it will going to generate the post for you. Cool. So see, here we have the prompt, which is really exaggerated and having a lot of amazing thing: writing style, structure, format requirement, engagement title, avoid. Woo, it's really amazing. So I just copied that prompt and paste it here. This prompt is too much concise and really practical. I'll just say the topic is prompt engineering. Hit enter and let's see what's going to happen. So it's now going to write a prompt. It's going to write a LinkedIn post for me. Okay, please insert the topic. So topic is, I already did that. Topic is prompt engineering. Okay, maybe I missed that, but this is how the automatic prompt engineering works. That's amazing, really amazing way of prompting, and that's why I told you to stick till the last, because this technique is I use it every day. I ask like every model to first generate a prompt and then I use that prompt. Okay, so this was amazing video, and we have some bonus prompting techniques for you, which is code prompting. So we are going to write the prompt to write the code. Maybe you can also have a different prompt to explain the code. You can also learn like how you can translate the code, a lot of different things. All these prompting are for coding. So if you are not from the coding world, then just skip this part, or if you want, just go and learn about these things from the book. Book link is in the description. If you like this video, please go and share with your friends, with your teacher, with your colleague, with your students, so that everyone will going to learn the different prompting techniques. If you have not yet subscribed to Bitfilm's YouTube channel, go and hit subscribe so that we can have amazing video on this channel. If you have not yet commented what you're doing, just let me know which prompting technique is your favorite, and I will create more videos on these kind of prompting technique. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.